Disney's Hollywood Studios has some of the best e-tickets of any Disney park. Located in Florida at the Walt Disney World Resort, this park has some of the best dark rides in the world. This park has some highly popular IPs like Star Wars and Toy Story, and it uses those characters to the fullest. So in this video, I will rank this park's top 10 rides, shows, and attractions. And before starting this list, I want to note that there will be a few defunct and SB&O attractions included. Number 15. The Wonderful World of Animation. This is probably the weakest of the Disney nighttime spectaculars, but it's still a solid production. The park projects a series of animated skits, both new and old, onto the Chinese theater. This doesn't have too much in terms of pyrotechnics, but the occasional firework always gets a cheer. Number 14. Muppet Vision 3D. I grew up watching the Muppets, and this show captures their hijinks perfectly. There are some fun puns and no shortage of 3D effects. The only issue is that this is an older 3D attraction, so some of the visual effects can cause a bit of strain on your eyes. Number 13. Alien Swirling Saucers. This energetic flat ride combines the classic teacup ride and whip into one attraction. You have some good near misses as you pass through the center. Then your vehicle gets whipped outwards on the turns. The ride is plussed by a catchy soundtrack and colorful lighting, but it does have an extremely short cycle that's just about a minute in length. Up next would have been the Backlot Tour. This half-hour journey took guests past some fake backlots and old movie props. This part was a bit boring for me when I was a kid, and it's a shame I couldn't try it again today now that I have a greater appreciation for the films that were included. But I've always loved Catastrophe Canyon, which is a reenacted natural disaster with flooding waters and fire effects. Number 12. Beauty and the Beast live on stage. This show retells the story and features some of the most popular songs from Beauty and the Beast. The production value is great for the musical numbers, but the plot sequence and elements don't quite align with the events of the film, which did throw us off. Number 11. Voyage of the Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid has one of the best soundtracks of any Disney film, and this show is filled with all those popular songs. The actress playing Ariel did a great job, then the other characters are brought to life through a series of puppets. This show is currently SB&O and it may never reopen, which would really be a shame. Up next would have been the Great Movie Ride. This was once the park's signature attraction. This dark ride took you through some solid scenes of iconic films such as The Wizard of Oz and even Alien. It was weird seeing non-Disney IPs here. Like the Backlot Tour, I know I would have appreciated this ride more as an adult, but I still remember being impressed by the wide range of scenes as a kid, and it was a pretty long ride too. Up next would have been Lights Motors Action Extreme Stunt Show. This half-hour show was absolute eye candy. A series of cars and motorcycles would perform downright daring stunts right before your eyes. Number 10. Star Tours. This motion simulator is a fun adventure for Star Wars fans. You head through a variety of iconic scenes from the films, and you'll need to ride a few times to get all of them. Along with the crisp visuals, you have some turbulent and jerky motion that adds in some thrills. Number 9. Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. I should preface this by saying that Raiders of the Lost Ark is my favorite film, so seeing some of the scenes replicated in person is a dream come true. I love the opening sequence with the pillars and giant boulder, and the final fight around the plane is a wonderful one as well. The middle isn't quite at the same level, but the start and finish of the show are strong enough to carry it. Number 8. Rock and Roller Coaster. This Vekoma launch coaster is entirely indoors. Themed to Aerosmith, the ride is plussed by some loud and clear onboard audio. The coaster starts with a solid launch and 2 forceful inversions. The rest of the ride is just okay though. Outside of the corkscrew, none of the other elements really stand out as you just meander about in the dark with the occasional set piece. Number 7. Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. This is an interactive motion simulator that feels like a giant video game, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Guests are assigned one of 3 roles: pilot, gunner, and engineer. Engineer is boring as you just press buttons that light up. Gunner is a bit more exciting since there's more strategy to pressing the buttons, but again, you're still just pressing buttons. Pilot allows you to steer the ship either left or right, or up and down, and this is the best role by far. It's really fun to work with the other pilot to navigate the ship through all the dangers and it's the role that gives you the most control over the experience. Definitely ask for that one. Number 6. Slinky Dog Dash. This mock multi-launch coaster runs through Toy Story Land, and it's a visual spectacle. The vehicles are adorable, and there are some nice bits of theming along the course, most notably the theatric second launch sequence. The ride itself isn't too intense, but that's by design. The launches have no punch, but a few of the turns and dips do have a tiny bit of power in the back. And then the ride is very smooth, and the visuals along the course really elevate the experience, which I note in a separate review. Number 5. Fantasmic. This is my favorite show at any theme park. This one takes place in a giant arena, as opposed to the Rivers of America at Disneyland. I prefer the setting on the Disneyland one because it's more intimate and requires a lot less of a time commitment. But Florida's show is still great. I love the music. The show's score at the start and end is beautiful. Then there are snippets of popular Disney songs woven throughout. And the visuals are magical too. The finale is exciting between the battle with the giant dragon and then Steamboat Willie coming by, which has most of the major Disney characters on board. Number 4. Toy Story Mania. This interactive shooting dark ride is addictive. The pop gun is extremely rewarding as you fire at targets. The guns are very responsive, and there are no shortage of targets to take aim at. Then each game has secret targets that you can unlock that give the attraction a lot of re-ride value. Number 3. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. This trackless dark ride is a really cool attraction. The ride's unique visual style teleports you into a cartoon. The screens are grand and busy, and there are some neat visual tricks as they change right before your eyes or in between scenes. Plus, you have some animatronics too along the way. Then the visuals are complemented by some nice motion that adds the right amount of chaos and thrills to heighten the experience. Number 2. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. This is an incredible hybrid of a dark ride and a drop tower. The pre-show and dark ride scenes are pretty creepy with the haunted hotel. Then the drop sequence is fantastic. Secured by just a seatbelt, you get arguably the best airtime of any drop tower. The descents offer both airtime and a strong stomach dropping sensation. Then the rapid ascents offer several seconds of sustained airtime. I have an entire review in this attraction, but it's arguably Disney's greatest thrill ride of all time. And coming in at number 1 is Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. This is the world's greatest dark ride. I don't want to get too deep into spoilers, because it really is best if you go in fresh, but if you do want to hear all the nitty gritty, check out my review. But in short, this is the most immersive attraction out there. The queue line and pre-shows teleport you into the story. Then the experience crescendos with a brilliant trackless dark ride. The details from scene to scene are incredible. You have stylized rooms, giant set pieces, and some sophisticated animatronics. And this ride's finale is among the best of any ride, as you have a thrilling escape from the spaceship. So those are the top 15 rides, attractions, and shows at Disney's Hollywood Studios. What are your favorite things to do at this theme park? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this countdown, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.